Welcome back. In this video, we're going to finalize our application, and therefore I'm just going to get started by, well, copy and pasting this code, because this is basically where the calculation happens, right? So we check, is it a minus? If it's a minus, then we're going to split it at the minus, and then we do the calculation here at the bottom. So now we just need to replace this or do the same thing with a bunch of else ifs for the other operations. So here, let me add else if and then else and paste it in. So now I have all four operations here. So let's start with the minus. We had that. Now let's go over to the plus. So let's add the plus here and add it in the calculation itself as well. Now let's add the division, the slash, and do the same thing here. And then we just need another one, which will be the multiplication. So here we just need to add the multiplication like so. And of course we mustn't forget it here at the bottom in the actual multiplication as well. Okay, so now let's try this once again. So 99 times 99 gives 9,801. Now 66, actually let's use 66 times 3 will be 198. That's good. Now 99 divided by 66 will be 1.5, and 66 minus 33 will be 33, plus 55 is 88, minus 68 is 20, and so forth. So you see that works fine. Now at this point you could say, hey, I'm not super happy with there constantly being a dot zero at the end. So if we are working with just whole numbers, I want to get rid of this dot zero. And you already know more or less how this can be done. You could use a substring, you could use a split here, so both would be fine. I'm just going to show you my solution to it, and that is going to be a new method that will take care of just that. So here I'm going to create this new private function called remove zero after dot. All right, and it needs to get the result of type string, and it will return a string itself. So the result will be the result of our calculation, and then it will take that and it will return a string without the dot zero. So first of all, let's get the value, which will be our result at the beginning. So when we start, the value will be the result. And we only change it if we actually need to change it, which means if the result contains the string of dot zero, which means 99.0, 33.0, and so forth. If that's the case, then let me set the value to be the result of the substring of 0, well, start index 0, all the way up to result.length minus 2. So what is going on here? Well, let's just use this here and play the Kotlin. So we had this hello world example earlier, and here I'm going to use this result length minus 2. Okay, so what will this return? Let's run it, and of course my string needs to be used here instead of result. So here is going to be returned empty space war. So what it does is it starts at position 0, which is this empty space, and it goes all the way to the length of the entire string, which is 11. So we have 11 entries minus 2. So it goes all the way to index 9, which means it goes all the way to this R and doesn't use this LD. Maybe it's going to be easier if we actually are going to use these as strings here, like the numbers as strings. You can see it starts at index 5, which is this number here, and it goes all the way up to like everything except for the last two entries. So this 89 is going to be excluded. It's the same as if we were saying 90.0 and we start at substring index 0 and go all the way to length minus 2, which means we just get 90. So we are eliminating the dot 0 here with this substring. And now, of course, we need to return value. So here, return value like so. And by the way, you see here, I'm using this if clause without curly brackets because I just have one line of code that will be executed for this if statement if it's true. So now we return value, which means now we can go ahead and remove 0 after dot for each of the calculation results, so to speak. Okay, so here where we set the text, we can now just use this remove after dot and pass the calculation in there, or the result, so the string of the result in there as the parameter. Okay, so remove after dot with this thing as a string. Okay, and now we can do the same thing with the other calculations. So here we do the same thing. We just need to make sure that we replace it with the right operation. And here it has to be the plus, and then here accordingly the minus. Okay, and was it the minus for this one? Yes, it was. Okay, so now let me check, because I believe I have this minus twice. Okay, that's good to know. So let's use it instead here, which creates a situation where this else if would have been unnecessary. Okay, let's run it again. And 99 minus 66 and see, okay, we have only 33 now, not 33.0. All right, so that's pretty much it for this calculator. So you see we have a proper calculator. We can clear the entry. Now you could of course have 0 as the default value that is going to be displayed here if you wanted to. But overall, this is a calculator that works, at least for the basic operations. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. In the next one, we're going to build an actually cool app, because this was just to show you the fundamentals and really teach you how to use all of the good string stuff. And in the next chapter, we're actually going to build a cool quiz app. So see you there.